beautiful day in Jerusalem. The Feast of Sukkot is over with, and I'm just actually going to get ready to leave after Shabbat. Today is Shabbat and nice and quiet, and I just thought I'd take a little walk around, show you an area that I really like called Yemin Moshe. It's where I've been staying for over 2 decades, actually. I came here, I think, my third trip to Jerusalem. My first Shavuot, I came here, and really enjoy it as a place to just relax and write. Done a lot of writing here. You can walk around here for quite some time. All sorts of places to see, and just it's got a nice laid back environment here. The nice thing about it is there are only walking streets in this neighborhood, so you don't get a lot of noise except from down below. There are some people honking and there's traffic there, but in the community itself, it's nice and quiet. Somebody still got their sukkah up there. Couple doves here. There's actually a lot of different bird species that like to fly around this area. And then there's the cats. There's cats all over the place. I found that since I was here last time, they've gotten pretty bold. I had one walk in my apartment the other day. I left the door to my balcony open, and it just came walking in. I asked it nicely to leave, and he just kind of took his time and moseyed out. But you can see the view. Yemin Moshe is on the west side of the Hinnom Valley. And you can see over there on the east side of the Hinnom Valley, which is actually the Western Hill. a little bouncy because things are not always so smooth here. It's an old neighborhood with variation in the stones and the street. You can see we're getting higher, and you can see the walls of the old city. This upper portion of Yemin Moshe leads up to a park, and there's an interesting site up here. This is actually a Tammuz cave here. This is where there used to be various rituals, child sacrifice rituals, because, and actually I've done a video here on Eastern traditions, Easter traditions, and this was a site where they would do essentially Easter sunrise services. And it faces, you can see over there in the background, the Western Hill. And they would have the sun would rise directly across from here, and they would have sunrise services and sacrifices. The Hinnom Valley, if you read through the scriptures, was actually very renowned for child sacrifice, and it was actually very, very bad. People used to throw their refuse down in the lower portion, and it ended up being called essentially Gehenna because there was so much kind of, just bad, evil stuff going on there. So anyways, this is just a reminder of actually this is where, a lot of Easter traditions derive from. Because when they slaughtered the infants, they would dip eggs in blood, and that's where dyeing of eggs, that tradition came from for Easter. It's all pagan, and it's all pagan derived traditions. And, so I guess the people over here are just harvesting some olives. Hey, no picture. No picture. No. So we're harvesting olives out of the park. I think it's okay that they do that. They kind of treat these as public olive trees, so people come here. I see it quite often around this time, where they will come and they lay down tarps or sheets, and they'll knock the olives off the trees, and then once they got as many as they can, they gather them up and then take them and process them. Right up behind here is the King David Hotel. Pretty famous hotel. It's been here for a long time. It used to be used by, dignitaries and the elite that were visiting. See the variety of trees here in Jerusalem. You'll see fir trees. We just came through a lot of olive trees. Even palm trees. You see palm trees over there at the King David. But this is what's so nice about Shabbat in Jerusalem. It's just so quiet. And it's pretty easy to find a quiet place in the city, which is nice if you want to. Of course, it's a little difficult over in the old city, but when you get out of the main flow of traffic, you can usually find a nice place to sit and relax and enjoy the Shabbat. I think I will just take a seat here and relax for a few minutes. Birds like the olives too. Of course, they also like the garbage. Like he's doing Shabbat. That's the way to go. Bring a mattress into the park. This is a nice overlook spot. You can see the Jaffa Gate. There's a nice park down there. If you walk outside the Jaffa Gate, you gotta go down. You really can't see it. It's in the valley there. It's called Teddy Park. And when I first started coming here, you know, there were the vestiges of a construction project, but it had just gone to waste and it was in really rough shape. And then over the years, they cleaned it up and really made it into a nice park. They have a water fountain with a lake show that the kids love to run around in and get wet on hot days. And then there's the wall. There's a lot of archaeological finds along the wall there. I mentioned it in another video that they had found remnants of Herod's palace there. And then, of course, this was the Citadel of David, which was not there. This is really more Ottoman architecture, but they have identified that as where the Romans would have had their kind of fortress, but kind of a headquarters right there in this inside the city. On the other side of the city, you would see Antonia Fortress. There's one of the steeples in the Christian quarter. If you keep going past that, you'll end up at the Church of the Holy Sepulchre. You can see how you can only see things that are on this ridge. It all goes down towards the Kidron Valley to the east. You see a little bit more of the park that's down there. As you can see, there's a lot of nice infrastructure around here. Some of it is neglected, though. Some areas of this park are beautiful walk paths that are highly manicured, and then others kind of fall out of favor, I guess, and are just beyond the reach of where the resources can maintain. You see this pomegranate tree here? Nobody's picked these pomegranates, and rarely will you actually be able to find a good one when they've just been here. They end up splitting, and then insects get in them, and birds eat them, and so if you don't get them just at the right time, or if you don't protect them, they're just gonna actually be for the animals, you see. I like pomegranates. Be nice to be able to just pick one sometime and eat one, but rarely is that gonna happen. Out in the wild, or just not in a protected space. You see all these pomegranates, they're just shells. There's some olive trees. The olives are already starting to turn dark. Well, you can see where someone has been barbecuing here. Yeah. So that's always a shame when you see these types of areas. People don't clean up after themselves. This is Teddy Park, like I was telling you about, the Yemin Moshe Gate. This is a popular spot on Shabbat. This is interesting. Imagine if you had to use something like this to tell time. Right now, it is 2:51, and looks like it's pretty accurate. It's a good example of how when you start digging around the city, you'll find things below you just about everywhere. Sometimes they preserve things, sometimes they just cover them up. See the King David Hotel up there? So we've kind of taken a little shortcut through the valley. Didn't have to go all the way down in, just crossed up towards the top here. You can see this is the Mamilla shopping area, usually very busy, but they're closed down on Shabbat. So people just sometimes take their Shabbat walk here. You can see the Christian tour groups are still in full swing because they don't observe Shabbat. We'll go through the gate, just in case you missed it. This again is the Jaffa Gate. And if you follow this wall all the way to the north, you would get on Jaffa Street, which has been closed off to automobile traffic, and it's just the train now, which makes it kind of nice to, walking on that street. You can go and walk all over the place, especially on Shabbat when the train's not running. The whole street's open. You can just walk on Jaffa Street. We're looking out to the west towards Jaffa. Of course, this is the interchange between, intersection essentially between the Christian and Armenian quarters. So all of those are Sunday worshipers, so that's why you're seeing this part of the city is still active. And of course, the Muslims don't keep Sabbath either, so everything will be in full swing. You can't engage them. It's, you don't want to be rude to people, but if you start talking to them, they just try to turn the hustle on. They just want to give you a tour and then start getting money out of you. When I came here the first time, like I say, 22 years ago, these streets were empty. Most of the shops weren't open. Nobody here. The Intifada, all sorts of bombings going on and stuff. So tourists just weren't coming here. And yeah, I walked in, and a guy, he was pretty smooth. You know, he just kind of, hey, how you doing? He started talking. He didn't ask me if I wanted a tour. He just started talking to me. And next thing you know, I'm on a tour. And actually, it was pretty good. He was an official tour guide. And he was just hustling for business. And he did a good job. He showed me a lot of things. And, wasn't conning me or anything. So, but generally, I would say you want to try to avoid that. So you can see the different layers of architecture here, the stonework. There's different styles for different eras, and as you go up these walls, you can see that they reused and repurposed different stones to keep reinforcing this as a stronghold. Of course, this has a moat around it, and you notice how the wall angles out, so they could actually, obviously it would be hard for anybody to climb up this angled wall, and also they could drop things off the wall and they would reflect and hit people that were down there that were trying to scale the wall. So right there is the Petra Hostel, and that's where a lot of people come and spend some time. There's been a lot of Messianic groups that have gathered up there. And over there is the Imperial Hotel. That's really old. It's got a lot of history. You could go up on these rooftops and really get a nice view of Jerusalem. This is the Christ Church. This is the first place I ever stayed in Jerusalem, and it's really gotten busy since then. There was no coffee shop here or anything, but it's a good meeting place for people. If you're gonna meet with somebody and you don't want to get too far into the city, say, "Oh, we'll meet at Christ Church," and people come back here and come back here and meet up with one another. And sometimes people will come and get on the grand piano in here and start playing away. It's a very old church, and you'll find that it's different from most churches. There's a piano, beautiful sound in here. So you notice the Hebrew here instead of a cross. You see a menorah. And up in the stained glass window, you see? Yod Hey Vav Hey. So this is as close as you're going to get to a clean church in Jerusalem. And you've got the commandments and so sometimes people will have little concerts here and gatherings and again right there I could do without the Star of David. I mean they're trying to show their their quote unquote Jewish roots, so they do that, but you see the name Yod Hey Vav Hey up there, so it's great that at least his name is proclaimed in this place, at least in the stained glass. Whether they speak it is another question, but look, the gift of Elohim is eternal life, and they've got Yeshua HaMashiach. Yeshua is really just salvation, and his more proper name is Yahushua, because Yahushua, which would have the name of Yah in it. Yah is salvation. But close. I mean, they do both better than most, just about any church in Jerusalem. I know there's in the old city at least, there are some Messianic congregations. This is very old. Okay. I'm going to go in where
I believe it's a portion of a percentage of that to mine.
I gotta get it on this conversation here.
Hey.
Okay, I'm inside the Zion Gate. This is kind of where I lost some footage before. Ran into Luke playing guitar. I actually ran into him again the following day up on Mount Zion. We had a really special time down in the early church there doing some worship. And so what I'm going to do is just walk outside the Zion Gate. Now this is the outside of the Zion Gate. You can see all of this bullet marks here. This was a hotly contested spot when the Jews were storming the city in 1967. And this was, one of the main ways they were going to get in. So they've left all the bullet marks around the Zion Gate. I'm going to walk down here and
There's a small group there.
get my. So this way, we've come out the Zion Gate. We're heading west, and we're actually going to come right out and see Yemin Moshe across the valley. From there, I just thought we'd walk along the wall for a little bit. A lot of people here. Sometimes I walk down this way and nobody around. So to the right of me is the wall, and the Armenian quarter is on the other side. I actually turned it into a big parking lot over there. And to the left is a big Greek Orthodox complex.
Yeah, I am, yeah.
Actually, I think it's combined. I think there's also another Catholic church there as well. So it's hard to keep track. They squeeze in all these different churches and complexes into very tight spaces. So I don't usually make a habit of keeping track of the different ones, but anyways, you can see the opening up here.
Yeah, maybe it happened. Maybe he is. I don't know. Yeah, yeah,
Right across there is the where we walked earlier, Yemin Moshe. Hey, fancy meeting you guys here. So I thought we'd go down and just look alongside this wall here that faces to the west. Well, this is a nice place on Shabbat to come along the western side of the city. The grass is nice and green, relaxing, especially when the sun starts going down, not too hot. Right here, they did that. I think, was this the spot that they did the?
It's right here.
Yeah. So this is where, oh, I think it was, when was that? A few years ago? Or a little
About
more?
4 years ago.
About 4 years ago. They set up an altar here and did a practice, right? A practice slaughtering?
I literally asked him, is it like a
What did you-
Kurban Amati?
Yes.
Is it a real one? He's like, no.
So it's just a rehearsal.
Yeah.
They set up a,
But they had fire.
and did they slaughter the animal here, or did they just come with a pre-slaughtered animal?
I didn't see any animal. That's why I asked.
Oh, okay. And so I saw some video footage of them putting meat on the altar, but I don't think they actually did the slaughter here. But yeah, so they're serious about starting up the temple, and it's my understanding that this was where Herod's palace was. Leave. This was an entry to it. But again, these walls weren't there at that time. These are Crusader walls. But you can get down to the bedrock. You see the bedrock here and here. That's bedrock, and so that would have been there, originally. And then they just build around it, build various things around it. Yeah, what a nice spot. But again, people come up and they just leave their garbage. This gives you a nice little perspective of what you're looking at out here. No. Couple doves. So here's bedrock right here. You can see where they brought together the bedrock, and there's an original stone. And who knows where that leads. But not enough time to explore caves right now. Well, I think I'm gonna stop my Shabbat walk here. It's a beautiful day, and I hope you enjoyed this little Sabbath walk. Gave you a little different perspective of Jerusalem when it's a little quieter, but not too much. But there are some nice places that you can come to in this city and just really enjoy it and soak it in. So that's all for now. This is Todd Bennett from Jerusalem. Shabbat Shalom.